Everyone wants to transmigrate into the main character, but some protagonists are genuinely not worth transmigrating into. The main character you picture has a golden cheat, roams heaven and earth, and dominates an entire era. Then there's this other protagonist, who tears his own heart out and digs out his guts, refining himself through cultivation until he becomes a living chemical compound. His name is Li Huowang of the Daogui world. Director, I made it. Li Huowang starts out as a junior disciple at Qingfeng Manor, a place literally called Pure Wind Pavilion. Despite the name, it's actually a dim, dingy cave. And his master refines pills using living people as ingredients, which leaves him watching his master physically grind the world into medicinal powder. He then jolts awake in a psychiatric ward. Turns out he's a mental patient. And here, he has a childhood sweetheart named Yang Na. For the years he's been ill, Yang Na has been by his side, caring for him every day. Everyone tells him that otherworld is fake, just a hallucination he invented. But just as he's preparing to accept everything and start real treatment, he accidentally brings back a jade pendant from the Daogui world. This convinces him that the two worlds are connected, and that he is the chosen one. The immediate problem, though, is that he has to survive in the Daogui world. So he carefully flatters his master Danyang Zi, and earns a certain level of trust. But this strange condition of randomly snapping back to the real world keeps ruining his master's pill refinement. So Danyang Zi force-feeds him a giant clump of black tentacles, the black Taisui parasite. He tells Li Huowang that the other world is an illusion, and that the black Taisui can effectively cure this dual consciousness syndrome. Sure enough, after that Li Huowang never returns to the modern world again. His entire worldview collapses. So the dark, twisted Daogui world is the real one after all. But if he wants to survive in it, he has to escape this terrifying master. First advantage, his master Danyang Zi can't read. So he falsifies the medicinal reports, adding the most bizarre ingredients possible to whatever the master needs. The plan backfires when the master orders him to eat an entire bucket of medicine. After swallowing it, Li Huowang feels crushing pain in his stomach. In a daze, he even hears a doctor calling for a stomach pump. But he knows it's all hallucinations. In the end, Danyang Zi self-destructs and dies, while Li Huowang miraculously survives. During this period, Li Huowang is completely lost, with no idea where to go. His Red Clan companion Bai Lingmiao stays by his side through it all, comforting him. What's most fascinating is that in his eyes, Bai Lingmiao's face keeps flickering back and forth with the face of Yang Na. By this point, though, Li Huowang has essentially written off everyone in the modern world as hallucinations. Finally free of his master, Li Huowang heads down the mountain with his fellow disciples. After some time, they arrive at Jingda Temple, but the giant Buddha that's supposed to radiate divine light turns out to be nothing but disgusting flesh constructs. Once Li Huowang sees the truth, he grabs his disciples and flees, but the monk gives chase with 7 flesh Buddhas in tow. The Buddha's divine light slams down, pinning Bai Lingmiao and the others to the ground. Li Huowang charges forward in furious defiance. But shockingly, the flesh Buddhas actually take a real step backward in terror. Then a familiar, ghostly voice echoes out from within his body. His dead master crawls right out from inside him. Danyang Zi devours all the flesh Buddhas on the spot, literally consuming every organ and entrail of his enemies. When it's all over, the rest of the disciples stare at Li Huowang in absolute horror. Because to them, there was never any Danyang Zi. Everything that just happened, Li Huowang did it himself. To tear apart the flesh Buddhas with his bare teeth, his entire face had distorted grotesquely, his jaw splitting open in a massive tear. But Li Huowang insists it was all Danyang Zi doing it. He believes Danyang Zi has merged with the black Taisui and is hiding inside his body. So from this point forward, he spends his time searching for a solution. Along the way, he defeats a rope-jumping martial artist named Li Ji, and wipes out a gang of river pirates. And he obtains a powerful technique, the Grand Thousand Path. Before we continue, a huge thank you to our sponsor Zhuanzhuan for their support. Quick question for everyone, what do you usually do with your old stuff sitting around? Like that iPhone 16 Pro of mine, I had Zhuanzhuan come pick it up right at my door and got over 4,500 yuan for it. Once you try it, you'll realize just how convenient it is. One-click pickup scheduling, free in-home appraisal. Residential complexes, office buildings, commercial districts, wherever you are, they come to you. Way better than hunting down resale shops for price quotes, spending hours listing things online only to have them not sell. Now with Zhuanzhuan, you don't even have to leave home, idle stuff turns straight into cash. And Zhuanzhuan covers a wide range of categories now. Electronics like earbuds, tablets, and laptops, even luxury goods like LV bags and high-end watches, all eligible for in-home pickup. Perfect for people like me who want to sell old stuff but can't be bothered with the hassle. If you want to offload your old things without the runaround, Zhuanzhuan in-home pickup is the move. Anyway, back to it, he also obtains a powerful technique, the Grand Thousand Path. This technique essentially threads through the entire span of Li Huowang's life. To use it, you have to offer the pain of your own tortured body back to the heavenly Tao in exchange for tremendous power. Ripping out your own fingernails. Biting through your own fingers. All just to land one devastating strike. This is exactly why, in the later chapters, Train Bro doesn't need much of an excuse before he's literally tearing himself apart. After some searching, Li Huowang arrives at Ansai Nunnery, a nunnery composed of countless rotting nuns. The obese, bloated abbess who fills the entire room tells Li Huowang that yes, the modern world really is just his hallucination. And there are many others who share his same condition, they're collectively called heart cultivators. It's been years without another episode sending him back to the modern world, and with the abbess's explanation on top of it, Li Huowang has at this point completely accepted the modern world as a figment of his imagination. The abbess also confirms she can deal with the Danyang Z living in his body, but it will cost him all his money, plus the eyes of someone called Lei Shiba. So Li Huowang sets off with his disciples to find this person. Following the abbess's directions, they locate Lei Shiba in a nearby village, only to discover that Li Huowang is absolutely no match for him. His name, memories, even his face, are all stolen away by Lei Shiba. At this point the story would seem to be basically over. The protagonist and his crew are on course for total annihilation. But right at this moment, Li Huowang snaps back to the modern world. In the psychiatric ward, he remembers his own name, and recalls that he came to capture Lei Shiba. He is completely certain this world is the hallucination. Following the route from his memories, he walks out of the psychiatric ward and straight into a busy intersection. He is certain his disciples are positioned right where the traffic is. Li Huowang screams at the oncoming cars, telling Bai Lingmiao to attack the Li Huowang at their feet. And he himself charges after Lei Shiba. By now people around him have already called the police. Li Huowang sees only Lei Shiba. In his eyes, Lei Shiba keeps morphing, into a car, into a road sign, into a traffic light, into a hat. He shouts and lunges forward, chasing it down, the screams of bystanders, the horns blaring in traffic, none of it can touch him. Because he knows. It's all a hallucination. Finally, Lei Shiba freezes in the form of a little girl's red hair clip. Li Huowang scrambles into the kindergarten and punches the teacher who tries to stop him flat on the ground. He grabs the little girl by the scruff and lifts her off the ground. Police arrive on scene, guns raised, demanding he release the child. But Li Huowang doesn't listen. In his mind, all of this is nothing but an illusion Lei Shiba created. And then, at that very moment, Li Huowang's mother arrives at the scene. "My son, listen to mom. Please listen to mom. Put that little girl down, okay? Let's go home, okay? You can play video games as many days as you want. I won't stop you. I promise. It's all fake. All of it is fake. Lei Shiba made all of this up. That other world is the real one. I can't let the hallucination control me again. Son, I'm begging you on my knees, please. For you, I've already sold the house. They genuinely have no money left to pay anyone back. They genuinely have no money left." Seeing his mother's gaunt, exhausted face after so many years apart, her plea coming straight from the depths of her soul, he finally breaks. In this moment, he can no longer tell what is real. Mom. Mom. I can't tell anymore. I really can't tell anymore. But then a gunshot rings out, and Train Bro snaps back into the Daogui world. In the distance, Lei Shiba is still leisurely thinking up new ways to torment Li Huowang. But what he doesn't know is that right now, the combined mental anguish of being torn between two worlds has pushed Li Huowang to the threshold required to activate the Cerulean Spear Ascension technique. Li Huowang draws his blade and begins, in the most literal, physical sense, eviscerating himself. All while screaming in a frenzy. And the unbounded pain is shared outward with everything around him. Even stones and bamboo, objects with no capacity for pain, are forcibly switched on by this power from beyond the mortal realm, and made to feel the agony, crumbling to dust. With each blade strike Li Huowang lands, the shockwaves of the Cerulean Spear Ascension finally wash over Lei Shiba. The instant that boundless suffering hits him, Lei Shiba's first and only response is to kill himself immediately. And as this unfolds, Li Huowang's own eyes begin to dim. In a daze, he feels as if a massive eye in the sky is watching him from above. The Cerulean Spear Ascension works by borrowing the power of Ba Hui, the deity of pain and suffering. When he next wakes up, he finds himself in the intensive care unit. The gaping wound he tore in his own stomach has been fully sutured by doctors. But even now, he still believes the modern world is fake. He drifts back to sleep, then wakes again. A familiar voice sounds beside his ear. "Senior Brother Lin, you're awake." It turns out that during their journey, Bailey Miao was chosen by a spirit entity and became a spirit medium. This time, she forcibly borrowed the spirit's power to pull Li Huowang back from the brink of death. As for nutrition during the coma, Bailey Miao fed Li Huowang entirely mouth to mouth. This Red Clan companion genuinely has deep feelings for Train Bro. Since he didn't die, they can go back to Ansai and deal with the original problem. Under the Abbess's ritual, Li Huowang's dead master Danyang Zi indeed appears again. The abbess's people channel swarms of flies to surround Danyang-zi, but Li Huowang suddenly starts gagging and dry heaving. Several black tentacles crawl out of his mouth. This only deepens his conviction that Danyang-zi never actually died, he just dove into his stomach along with the black Taisui. The abbess has no solution for a situation where Danyang-zi has physically fused with the flesh. She suggests Li Huowang try heading to Aojin sect. The Grand Thousand Path technique originally came from that faction. So Li Huowang sets off alone for Aojin sect. Along the way, he takes in a stray dog and names it Mantu, Bun. They also pass through a ghost town that has been wiped out in a red plague. When he arrives at Aojin sect, he is completely floored. Everyone here is a broken, maimed wreck, an entire community of cultivators who train exclusively through suffering. The elders immediately recognize that Li Huowang has performed the cerulean spear ascension and successfully received Ba Hui's blessing. They readily agree to help him deal with the Danyang-zi problem. On one condition, Li Huowang must perform the cerulean spear ascension once, right in front of them. As it turns out, Aojin sect doesn't use suffering to show devotion to Ba Hui, they're trying to steal Ba Hui's power. That's right. They want to use Li Huowang as bait to summon Ba Hui, then attack the divine overseer of the heavenly Tao. But performing the cerulean spear ascension requires mind and body to simultaneously reach absolute agony. So the elder arranges a woman to attend to Li Huowang, the sole survivor of the ghost town they passed earlier. She has mistaken Li Huowang for the killer who destroyed her village 4 years ago. So she wants to quietly eliminate him as revenge. Unfortunately for her, Li Huowang kills her instead. Because 4 years ago, Li Huowang hadn't even arrived in the Daogui world yet, he couldn't possibly have massacred that village. But when he visits the ruins to investigate, he finds a slip of paper with 3 large characters, Li Huowang. From this moment on, he sinks into deep guilt and suspicion. With the help of Aojin sect member Ao Jinjiao, he finally recalls what happened 4 years ago. In a sea of blood and carnage, a man was laughing madly while experiencing a violent breakthrough. And that man was Li Huowang himself. Mind and body at the absolute limits of suffering, the cerulean spear ascension fires off, and Ba Hui descends. Just as the 6 elders move to attack the heavenly Tao, Li Huowang stops them cold. He demands they deal with Danyang-zi first. The 6 elders have no choice but to begin their incantation. But their chant is obviously written to completely fool Li Huowang, who has no real sense of the occult. They shout at the sky, "What is the 10,000 path?" As the chant echoes out, Danyang-zi dissolves into black vapor and dissipates. And Li Huowang coughs up half of Danyang-zi's face. Watching Danyang-zi reduced to ash, Li Huowang finally lets out a full, unbridled laugh, then passes out again. When he wakes, it's the dog Mantu licking his face that brings him around. Interestingly, the woman who died earlier and Danyang-zi both become hallucinations that follow him everywhere from now on. Fortunately, the Aojin sect elders explain this as a uniquely heart cultivator phenomenon. So Li Huowang departs with satisfied closure. But as Li Huowang walks away, a strange voice echoes through Aojin sect. The heart cultivator is truly awake. Fully awake. Your method is perfectly clear, followed by waves of maniacal laughter. At this moment, the most entertaining villain in all of Daogui Yishin officially steps onto the stage. The entire Aojin sect has already been infiltrated by the Huowang sect of false illusions. Of course, Li Huowang doesn't know this yet. He returns to Ansai Nunnery. The abbess warns him to use the Grand Thousand Path as little as possible and gives him a heavy killing aura arrow as a weapon. She also warns him not to trust anyone easily. Heart cultivators are extremely vulnerable to deception. If you run into someone you can't beat, run. Don't stubbornly slam your head against the wall. The abbess also cautions him to be extremely wary of the Huowang sect, a group of genuine con artists who deceive heaven and earth purely for fun, with absolutely zero limits. They've deceived a venerable abbess, deceived a monk into becoming a groom, deceived an entire city of men into drowning themselves, deceived an emperor into becoming a beggar. But their absolute favorite target will always be heart cultivators like Li Huowang. So the abbess urges him to stay vigilant at all costs. And indeed, thanks to this warning, once Li Huowang descends the mountain he successfully sees through a deception and defeats a Huowang agent named Abi. Though it appears to be a victory, Abi has already completed his true setup in this encounter. He has driven a head tile into the skull of Li Huowang's junior disciple Gao Zhijian. This single planted seed would later trigger a world-shaking confrontation. From this encounter, Li Huowang gains quite a bit. He obtains a copper coin mask that blocks aura detection, learns the true culprit of the village massacre 4 years ago was the Huowang sect, and discovers Aojin sect's elders have all been replaced by Huowang imposters. Li Huowang finally realizes he's been played, those people never actually dealt with Danyang-zi inside his body. So he decides to head back to Ansai Nunnery and seek the abbess's help. Worth noting, throughout this stretch, Li Huowang keeps flickering back to the modern world. Every time he crosses back, he hears the concerned voices of his girlfriend Yang Na and his mother. On one occasion, Li Huowang deliberately brings gold and a jade pendant back to give to his mother. As he hands them over, he says half bitterly, "Even if it's just a hallucination, I can't stand watching my mother suffer." Hearing those words, his mother doesn't even glance at the gold. Her shaking hands grip his shoulders. I'm your mom. I am not a hallucination. I am genuinely not a hallucination. I'm not, but Li Huowang doesn't have time for this. He snaps back to the Daogui world. He has to deal with the Danyangzi situation as fast as possible. Just when he expects to return to Ansai Nunnery, all the abysses have vanished. He finds only a half-eaten corpse in the pigsty, and that's what remains of the Ansai abyss. Li Huowang's fury erupts completely. The one person who wholeheartedly helped him, the only one who taught him to tell good from evil in this world, gone. This also corresponds to the death of the deity of decay. Because not only did Ansai's faithful all die, but flies, cockroaches, rats, all creatures connected to decay, vanished along with her. And it's right at this moment that Danyangzi's voice rises again. My child, what did your master say all along? Everything you do is wasted effort. If you turn around now and help me, there's still time. This master is asking him to give up the fight and offer his body willingly. At this point, Li Huowang acts entirely on instinct. He charges straight to Aojin sect and calls out every Zhuowang agent inside. Then right in front of them all, he drags a blade across his own throat. This drives Danyangzi, who can't bear the body being damaged, to burst out from within. Now Danyangzi stands right alongside the Zhuowang agents. But it's not enough yet. Regardless of the outcome, Danyangzi is never getting his body back. Li Huowang tears open the Grand Thousand Path manual and drives the blade straight into his own chest. He's activating the Grand Thousand Path's other trump card, Self-Blade Without End. Right in front of everyone, Li Huowang physically, literally hollows himself out. Countless worms fill the space. And through infinite agony, he gains matchless combat power. Li Huowang howls at Danyangzi. Master, let me help you for once. Then he swings and cleaves off one of Danyangzi's heads. The severed head charges at the Zhuowang agents. In this chaos he has no specific target, whoever's down he rescues, whoever's grabbing he kills, just to drag as many as possible into mutual destruction. And then the Zhuowang demon girl can't hold back any longer. She yells, "Boss, enough already. Can't you see how strong this guy actually is? Keep playing and people are going to start dying." Li Huowang doesn't care at all, he gives the demon girl a slash right away. Even if the big boss wanted me to spare you, you never deserved it. Facing death, the demon girl shouts again. Hongzhong, big boss, seriously stop fighting. Feel the back of your neck under the skin. See if what I'm saying is true. Li Huowang reaches back and parts the flesh of his neck, and buried inside is a mahjong tile. The red center. The demon girl hastily explains, Li Huowang is actually one of Zhuowang sect's 3 origins, the red center. He sealed away his own identity because he deceived everyone he could and lost all interest. So he asked people to just play along and keep him company. In the great battle at Aojin sect, Li Huowang tears out his own heart and enters invincible mode. Laughing wildly, shouting, I am the red center. Slashing with relentless ferocity, cutting down the demon girl and all the Zhuowang agents clean. In this moment, whatever identity they hold, any Zhuowang agent who deceived him deserves to die. As time passes, the bonus from the self-blade technique gradually fades. But he knows, one Zhuowang agent has already slipped into the crowd and gone into hiding. No time to pick them out. He massacres the entire Aojin sect, young and old, sick and disabled, everyone. But can Li Huowang really bring himself to do this? And right at this moment, Li Huowang's voice suddenly changes. 3 strange heads slowly emerge. Danyangzi has completely taken over Li Huowang's body. As another Danyangzi closes in and merges with this one, Li Huowang's body is expelled and begins to fade away. This lost soul is later found and taken away by Li Huowang's spiritual stone. Meanwhile, Danyangzi has begun his slow ascension, soaring through countless cloud layers, until at last he sees the Southern Celestial Gate. Step through the Southern Celestial Gate, enter the White Jade Capital, and attain immortality. But this White Jade Capital looks nothing like the paradise he imagined. The immortals inside are each more terrifyingly monstrous than the last. Just as Danyangzi hesitates, Li Huowang's consciousness suddenly surges forward. He physically drags Danyangzi through the door. The instant they cross the threshold, a mysterious force forcibly tears them apart. Facing a power that doesn't belong to the mortal world, the supposedly unkillable Danyangzi is reduced to ash in a single instant. And Li Huowang, who should have died instantly too, turns out something in the sky above genuinely had a connection to him. He is pulled by a mysterious force deep into the White Jade Capital. In the final moment before his consciousness fades, he catches a glimpse of Ba Hui, the deity of suffering. As his awareness dissolves, he wakes again, to the sound of countless spirit beings weeping and wailing around him. They're holding a funeral rite for Li Huowang. At the critical moment, Li Huowang crawls his way back out. Worth noting, this time inside the White Jade Capital, a vast amount of information was poured directly into Li Huowang's mind. He learns that this world is called the Luo, and that this world itself is alive. But there's no time to unpack all of that right now. Finally free of Danyang Zi, Li Huowang can at last begin to truly enjoy this world. He continues escorting the spirit beings home, and along the way they encounter a towering female general, nearly 2 meters tall, armored face guard and all, named Peng Longteng. Her face is strikingly beautiful, and branded with 4 characters, Golden Bell Leopard Kingdom. But her methods involve raiding and massacring villages everywhere she goes, and she even wants the lives of Li Huowang's entire family. The two of them clash repeatedly without a decisive outcome. In the end, Li Huowang pours out every last technique he knows, sacrifices one of his junior sister's arms, and cuts down his opponent. After death, this female general also becomes one of Li Huowang's hallucinations. And no one could have predicted that this very hallucination would later become Li Huowang's most powerful summon. Next, they escort one of the junior disciples to the Blue Hills. And this is one of the rare, peaceful stretches for Li Huowang and his companions. No monsters. No bandits. But free of the Black Taisui's suppression, Li Huowang's hallucinations are getting more and more severe. This time he even gets into a full-blown argument with people from the modern world. And just as he's still nursing that headache, Mantu comes trotting back from somewhere, with a scrap of Black Taisui skin in its mouth. Li Huowang rallies everyone to chase after Mantu, following the dog into another realm, where they capture the Black Taisui. But on the way back, a Taoist priest tricks them into entering the 50 Palace, a location imbued with the faith of death. This time the 50 Palace dungeon passes without anyone dying. Li Huowang successfully kills the Taoist priest and gains his yuan, his essence. On top of that, he picks up a copper coin sword. And just as he's about to swallow the Black Taisui, he hesitates. He decides that even if it's a hallucination, he still wants to properly settle things on that side. So he prepares a large amount of gold and crosses back to the modern world to hand it to his mother. He tells her to buy back the old house. He tells her that once she retires someday, she should travel more and stop spending every day glued to home. He also asks her to tell Yang Na to stop waiting. He won't be coming back. After settling all of this, Li Huowang gives a quiet smile, and says simply, goodbye. Back in the Daogui world, Li Huowang howls with grief and swallows the Black Taisui whole. He knows, the modern world is somewhere he can never return to. Back in Aojin sect, Li Huowang learns that the Zhuowang sect's Beifun is also a heart cultivator. And this Beifun has lived for over 190 years, completely free of confusion. By interrogating the Taoist priest's essence, Li Huowang prepares to seek out the Sword Heaven Division. This is a division specifically tasked with handling demonic threats on behalf of the government. And rogue troublemakers like the Zhuowang sect are the Sword Heaven Division's sworn enemies. By handling demonic threats and paying the price of 5 Yang lifespan pills, Li Huowang successfully joins the Sword Heaven Division. His first assignment, head to Ganyang village and deal with a Zhuowang agent. From the division's intelligence, he learns that the Zhuowang sect has special methods to siphon the power of heavenly Tao deities. And every Zhuowang member is designated by a mahjong tile. The 3 origins of the Zhuowang sect are the white board, the green dragon, and the red center, but rumor has it above them all is a head tile, the true supreme leader. As for how someone joins the Zhuowang sect, it's bizarre even by this world standards. Every new Zhuowang recruit was tricked into joining by a previous member. On the Ganyang village mission, Li Huowang indeed encounters a Zhuowang agent. This agent came specifically to deal with the red center. He believes Li Huowang is the red center, so he wants to eliminate Li Huowang and take the red center position for himself. This wannabe red center replacement is genuinely powerful. He keeps consuming and absorbing others. After each absorption, he snaps back into Li Huowang's body. This Black Taisui has apparently developed its own consciousness, and even starts learning to speak like an infant. From this point on, whenever Li Huowang has a spare moment, he stops to teach the Black Taisui how to talk. Meanwhile, Li Huowang and his companions are getting closer and closer to Baixing village, and Li Huowang, who's about to reunite with Bailey Miao, is starting to feel a bit nervous. Fortunately, Bailey Miao tells Li Huowang that her family members are all very kind and friendly, and that everyone will warm up to each other quickly. But unfortunately, when they arrive at Baixing village, they find the entire village is empty. It turns out Bailey Miao's whole family has been taken away by Jianjianshi agents. Li Huowang chases after the Jianjianshi escorts and rescues the Bai family. At the suggestion of the Bai family head, they decide to retreat into the reed marshes to shake off the pursuers. But throughout the journey, the Bai family head seems to be deliberately hiding something. When Jianjianshi pursuit troops catch up, Li Huowang learns that the Bai family is the White Lotus cult, a group guilty of countless crimes. Because they've killed so many people, the Jianjianshi dispatched forces to deal with them. Li Huowang naturally refuses to believe this. He decides to go ask for himself. Li Huowang is knocked flat on his back, and this sneak attack happens to wound Li Huowang's stomach, causing the Black Taisui's ability to suppress hallucinations to vanish. As his consciousness grows blurry, he doesn't end up in the camp. Instead, he finds himself standing in the middle of a torrential downpour on a city street. He wanders like a homeless man, with no idea where to go. Cold rain mixed with gusting wind pounds his face. His lips go purple, his teeth chatter. He feels like he's about to freeze to death. First he finds a large bonfire on the ground. Without hesitation he approaches, but somehow his body keeps getting hotter and hotter, even starting to sweat. Li Huowang jerks his head up, and before him is an endless sea of fire. The entire reed marsh has gone up in flames. He only lit a small campfire in the modern world, but in the Daogui world, he has entered some burning state in his own skin and conducted a grand thousand-path ritual. Every member of the Bai family has been roasted alive. When Li Huowang comes back to his senses, there is nothing left around him but scorched earth. His Sword Heaven Division colleague is completely awestruck. A colleague this dedicated, willing to put his own life on the line to get the job done, those are rare. But however it happened, the work is done clean. Li Huowang returns to Baixing village and tells Bai Li Miao everything. As the full weight of what happened settles in, the entire room seems to drop to freezing point. Two blue tears slowly trace down the corners of Bai Li Miao's eyes. Senior brother Li. Was there something I did wrong somewhere? Li Huowang thinks back over everything they've been through, thinks about Bai Li Miao's selfless devotion and care, thinks about her unconditional trust, and all he can do is say, trembling, I don't know why it turned out this way. I only know, I just felt so cold, I just wanted to sit by a fire, I really just wanted to warm up. That's all. Watching Li Huowang burn down to nothing but bones, Bai Li Miao breaks into hysterical sobs, then slowly walks toward the door. Li Huowang rushes to block her, telling her this is her home, if anyone's leaving, it should be him. Before leaving, Li Huowang tells his junior sister to take good care of Bai Li Miao. Now Li Huowang is alone again. He can't understand why he has to live in such agony, and he can't understand why this world has to treat him this way. Does being a heart cultivator mean he fundamentally doesn't deserve to have family? A few days later, Li Huowang brings Manta back to Jiantian Temple to pick up assignments. He believes that only by finding this Huowang sex Beifan can he finally break free from this confusion. With the Black Taisui's help, he completes his assignment smoothly. And the Black Taisui is becoming more and more human-like, it has started learning to walk, and has taken to riding on Li Huowang's head. Li Huowang gives it a name, Li Sui, Shattered. Next, Li Huowang is summoned by the Sword Heaven Division's superior, monk named Ji Xiang. Under the guise of a joint operation to deal with a problem at Fogu Temple, this monk makes mistake after mistake. He keeps telling Li Huowang to kill innocent ordinary people, then dismisses each blunder with a casual, I misidentified them. Li Huowang finds him deeply repulsive, and the two even come to blows. As they venture deep into Fogu Temple, the building suddenly collapses and everyone is briefly separated. The monk uses this opportunity to frame Li Huowang as a Huowang sect member. Li Huowang's explanations go nowhere. A fight breaks out. With the help of Li Sui's abilities and the village magistrate's divine technique, Li Huowang barely manages to escape. But right at this moment, someone suddenly taps Li Huowang on the shoulder from behind. Cold sweat breaks out instantly. He spins around, and sees a strikingly handsome young man dressed like a scholar. This scholar studies Li Huowang with curiosity, then with a single wave of his fan, he heals all the wounds on Li Huowang's face. Then he produces something that can conceal a heart cultivator's identity, reverse hammer, and hands it to Li Huowang. He tells Li Huowang the effect of this hammer far surpasses the copper coin mask. Then he slowly begins walking away. As he walks, he says calmly, I am Zhuge Yuan. If there's ever something you can't handle, feel free to come find me in the Western Sea. My abilities are limited, but what I can help with, I will. Don't let limited abilities fool you. This very scholar, with a single gesture, has already dealt with one of the Huowang sect's three origins, the Green Dragon. He would later use his power alone to confront the heavenly Tao directly and drive back a divine deity. In a word, this man is the undisputed number one below the immortals in this entire world. So what kind of changes will his appearance bring to Li Huowang? And how will the Black Taisui inside Li Huowang develop from here? Will the heartbroken Bai Ling Miao ever find her way back? If you're asking which female lead in a series has the greatest gap between first and second impression, who comes to mind? For me it's Bai Ling Miao, a gentle, warm, endlessly considerate girl. The very picture of a soft female lead. As the Red Clan companion Li Huowang meets at the very start, she gives the lost, confused Li Huowang a powerful sense of belonging in the Daogui world. But this same tender girl, in the middle to late arc, transforms into someone frank, bold, and extraordinarily capable. A little spitfire. The reason for such a drastic change goes back to the events of the Bai Ling Miao incident, and their next encounter. In one of Li Huowang's Sword Heaven Division assignments, he is trapped in a strange dimension by an entity called Xingzhua. And he discovers Bai Ling Miao has been trapped here too. To escape, Li Huowang decides to use the Cerulean Spear Ascension, borrowing the power of Ba Hui. But performing it requires mind and body to reach absolute agony simultaneously. So he decisively crosses back to the modern world. On the question of how to reach absolute mental agony, Li Huowang has already prepared. In his mind, the voices of his girlfriend Yang Na and his mother son Xiaoqin keep breaking through. Without realizing it, he ends up at Yang Na's school, and this school has just been caught in a hostage crisis. Such a theatrically timed coincidence only deepens Li Huowang's certainty that the modern world is just a hallucination. Following the stairs upward, he takes out a few hostage takers along the way. Finally, in one classroom, he finds Yang Na being held. She sees him, covered in wounds, wearing a patient's hospital gown. Yang Na's eyes go wet at the corners. This mentally ill boyfriend had escaped the hospital and fought his way here to save her. Hearing those words, Li Huowang feels the blade in his hand grow heavy as 1,000 jin. And with every last shred of will he has, he drives the blade into Yang Na's chest. The instant the tip enters, Yang Na doesn't show a single expression of fear or despair. She just looks at Li Huowang with an expression of pure, heartbroken grievance. And in this very moment, the extreme mental agony is achieved. In the Daogui world, Bai Lingmiao decisively leaps out from Li Huowang's throat and tears open her own abdomen. Extreme physical agony also achieved. The cerulean spear ascension successfully releases. Ba Hui descends. The power of the heavenly Tao instantly obliterates Xing Zhua and tears the dimensional space open. Li Huowang is saved. But at this point, Bai Lingmiao is no longer the sweet little thing she was before. As it turns out, Bai Lingmiao had discovered her own family was a cult, and unable to bear the psychological torment of that revelation, she had voluntarily picked up Li Huowang's purple spike sword, which was saturated with killing energy. That contact allowed the sword's killing energy to invade her, and her personality completely changed. From gentle as water to blunt, fiery, and headstrong. Even the way she expresses affection became terrifying. This change frightens Li Huowang. He much preferred the soft, gentle Bai Lingmiao from before. Fortunately, this mission earns Li Huowang the trust of his superior at the Sword Heaven Division. Not long after, his superior helps him track down a method to deal with the killing energy. She even confirms for Li Huowang that the heart cultivator known as Beifun from the north is real. Of course, no one could predict that after all Li Huowang's hard work to finally cleanse the killing energy, Bai Lingmiao would find herself completely unable to adapt to this body without it. The agony of losing her entire clan, combined with her complex feelings for Li Huowang, pushes her to the edge of collapse. Regardless, she stretches out her hand and touches the killing energy again. Li Huowang wants to stop her, but he also can't stand watching Bai Lingmiao break down in tears. Looks like he'll just have to accept this version of Bai Lingmiao for now. At the same time, Li Huowang receives a lot more information about Xing Su. Various factions are all hunting down Xing Su because Xing Su possesses one extra strand of innate energy compared to an ordinary person. Rumor has it this innate energy can make anything imagined by a heart cultivator come true. As for the magical artifact, a chain lock, on Xing Su's body, it's supposedly comparable to a divine weapon. This is when it all clicks for Li Huowang. I'm not just Xing Su, and my regenerative abilities are also beyond normal. So why not peel off my own skin to forge a magical armor? So why not just peel off my own skin and use it to forge a magical armor? Say what you want, but you can never predict what Li Huowang will do next. No hesitation, he drives liquid mercury straight through his skull, peels off his own skin, and forges a resurrection armor right then and there. After a few days of rest, Li Huowang goes to find Zhuge Yuan, while Bai Lingmiao heads back to the village to take her brothers and establish a new Bai Ling cult. At this point, Bai Lingmiao is clear-eyed about right and wrong, bold and confident. The two of them are so alike that, when they finally meet, the conversation only lasts a few days. Zhuge Yuan reveals that he is actually a Xing Pan, which means Xing Pan refers to the past life of a divine deity. Each divine deity carefully selects their own past lives themselves. Zhuge Yuan can't reveal the deity's name, only says it's the three-realm guiding light. But Aki can reveal that the deity is actually Sanqing, the three pure ones. In other words, Zhuge Yuan is the deity who governs the secret of the heavenly Tao. Here, Li Huowang also learns more about heart cultivators. As it turns out, a heart cultivator's greatest ability is true manifestation. Whatever a heart cultivator believes, that thing becomes real. Dan Yangzi achieved immortality back then because his half-face was inside Li Huowang's stomach, letting him borrow a heart cultivator's ability of true manifestation to realize his obsession with becoming an immortal. As for the innate energy unique to heart cultivators, it's similar to chakra or spirit energy. The external manifestation of innate energy causes heart cultivators to jump between two worlds. But as long as you obtain the true manifestation technique and learn to control your innate energy, you can control your hallucinations, and freely travel between both worlds without any confusion. But right now this is just hearsay. The only one said to possess the true manifestation technique is the Zhuowang sect's Beifun. And since Zhuge Yuan just killed one of the Zhuowang sect's three origins, the Green Dragon, they're definitely on the Zhuowang sect's kill list now. So as long as they follow Zhuge Yuan, they're bound to run into the Zhuowang sect. And Zhuge Yuan's goal for this trip turns out to be a visit to the imperial palace to purge the court. He claims the current Qi kingdom is ruled by a regent queen mother, with a corrupt eunuch holding all real power, and the people suffering terribly. The queen mother even turned the deceased child emperor into a zombie. He lays it all out perfectly, but Li Huowang recalls, shouldn't the Qi kingdom have ceased to exist hundreds of years ago? Shouldn't the current nation be still young? But whatever, as a heart cultivator, he genuinely understands this Xing Pan role Zhuge Yuan plays. He's willing to believe Zhuge Yuan's seemingly absurd words. But very quickly, Li Huowang notices something is wrong. This is clearly the Liang territory, yet whenever Zhuge Yuan is present, everything nearby, even people's memories, transforms into the Qi kingdom of hundreds of years ago. Even maps already drawn would change along with it. So this is Zhuge Yuan's power, everything around him inexplicably reverts to the Qi kingdom of 100 years prior. And this time they do indeed run into the Zhuowang sect. Against Zhuge Yuan's overwhelming strength, the enemy is quickly dealt. What excites Li Huowang most is that they actually capture Beifan. But this Beifan turns out not to be the heart cultivator Beifan he's after. Each Zhuowang sect mahjong tile actually has 4 copies. Only Beifan number 4 is a heart cultivator. Under interrogation, they learn the Zhuowang sect plans a massive assault on the imperial palace in a few days, when all 4 Beifan copies will appear. After getting the information they needed, Zhuge Yuan waves his scroll, and Beifan's face starts shifting and changing, until it settles into the form of an old woman from the Qi kingdom hundreds of years ago. She loses all memory and becomes an ordinary commoner of ancient Qi. Learning of the Zhuowang sect's planned massive invasion, Li Huowang immediately reports to the Sword Heaven Division. But to his complete shock, the division demands that Li Huowang plant himself beside Zhuge Yuan and help them seize Zhuge Yuan's divine tome artifact. The Sword Heaven Division wants to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, eliminate both Zhuge Yuan and the Zhuowang sect together. Sure enough, a few days later the Zhuowang sect attacks again. Li Huowang uses the chaos to snatch Zhuge Yuan's divine tome, then runs for it while screaming, "Get over here and help me." Suddenly, a swarm of hidden Sword Heaven Division agents materializes, cutting off Zhuge Yuan and the Zhuowang sect alike. The Sword Heaven Division's senior leadership watches Li Huowang sprint toward them with the divine tome in hand, absolutely delighted. But then, in the very next second, a flash of cold light. Li Huowang drives a blade straight into the senior official. In front of everyone's shocked eyes, Li Huowang shouts, "I am the Zhuowang sect's Red Center." And he bursts into hysterical laughter. Then his face begins to distort. Li Sui uses countless tentacles to reshape Li Huowang's face into a perfect square. Then, to the sound of countless cracking bones, Li Huowang's features are physically squeezed and compressed until they form the Red Center mahjong tile. He raises the divine tome and sneers, "Does this pathetic little Sword Heaven Division really think it can stand against the Zhuowang sect?" At this, the Zhuowang sect agents collectively lose their minds with excitement. Then, as one, the Zhuowang agents throw themselves at every enemy to hold them back, giving Li Huowang cover to escape. Guided by Li Sui, Li Huowang quickly escapes through the city gate, but when he reaches up to touch his head to try to restore his face, he suddenly realizes his head is missing. It's gone. Where's my head? Hearing Li Huowang's question, Li Sui just assumes he's asking her. "Dad, I know, earlier inside the city it fell on the ground. Should we go back and pick it up?" Hearing Li Sui's full explanation, Li Huowang feels the last thread of his will to live snap. He collapses to the ground and becomes a corpse on the spot. Li Sui is genuinely baffled. He'd been missing his head for quite a while. Why did he only fall over once she said it out loud? Fortunately, Li Sui has the resurrection armor Li Huowang made from his own peeled skin, so Li Huowang is revived. However it happened, this time he has successfully inflamed the conflict between the Sword Heaven Division and the Zhuowang sect. After his death, the Sword Heaven Division will definitely name the Zhuowang sect as public enemy number 1. Li Huowang returns to the city, retrieves his own head, and hands it to the Sword Heaven Division as his mission contribution. The new leadership doesn't hold anything against him. Next, Li Huowang and Zhuge Yuan decide to split up. Zhuge Yuan will launch a coup and purge the court in the Qi kingdom, while Li Huowang deals with the Zhuowang sect in Daliang. But unexpectedly, both events happen on the very same day. The Zhuowang sect launches a massive invasion of Daliang's imperial palace, while Zhuge Yuan simultaneously attacks Qi kingdom's imperial palace. And this palace battle is absolutely terrifying. Not only did every Zhuowang agent show up in full force, there were even many additional tile suits that shouldn't have been there at all kinds of wild cards, like rat tiles and cat tiles, appearing out of nowhere. But Daliang never had those tiles. Oh wait, Daliang didn't, but the Qi kingdom of hundreds of years ago did. That Beifan who Zhuge Yuan had turned into a Qi kingdom old woman suddenly reappears, her head slowly transforming. She is the Zhuowang sect's true supreme leader, the head tile. She has brought all the Zhuowang agents from the Qi kingdom of hundreds of years ago through to present-day Daliang. Being captured by Li Huowang, being turned by Zhuge Yuan, all of it was part of her calculations. They had been scheming for so long, all for this one day. The Zhuowang sect is determined to kill the current Daliang emperor. Daliang's national advisor activates a grand formation that summons the eye of a deceased divine deity to counter the Zhuowang sect. Under that divine gaze, even the ground is reduced to nothingness. By now Li Huowang is so overwhelmed by the deity's pressure he can't move, his whole body going limp. He forces out his staff, activates his ultimate, self-blade without form. The instant his ability is forcibly restored, he grabs Zhuge Yuan and runs. This place is absolutely no realm for a mortal. Facing this summoned divine eye, the head tile is actually delighted. She toys with the heavenly Tao itself, tricks and steals the divine deity Domu's past life, and snatches that divine eye for herself. Everything is proceeding exactly according to the head tile's calculations. Li Huang only needs to glance back at this living divine deity, and his consciousness begins to shatter. Fortunately, Zhuge Yuan wraps Li Huang in his scroll aura and flees, but just as they're nearly out of the palace, Domu's massive eye suddenly turns and fixes its gaze directly on Li Huang. In that instant, a flood of memories about Hongzhong, the red center, fills Li Huang's mind. These memories feel so complete, so real, so vivid and sharp. He sees himself stumbling through the Daogui world, eventually becoming one of the three origins, Hongzhong, with these memories even carrying a complete copy of the true manifestation technique. Li Huang's head explodes in pain, nearly breaking him. Beside him, Zhuge Yuan notices the change immediately. Without hesitation, this white-robed scholar steps in front of Li Huang and decisively leaps into the sky. His only target, the divine deity Domu. Watching this white-robed scholar hold a judge's brush, taking on a divine deity of the heavenly Tao, Li Huang finally breaks his silence with a question. That is a divine deity, Zhuge Yuan, why would you do this for me? And Zhuge Yuan's answer is as straightforward as ever. Those who truly know each other, cherish what is known of the other's heart. In this life, there are so few real reasons anyway. I simply want to, and so I act. That day, the sky darkened and the earth shook, and there was only one white-robed figure, furiously sweeping his judge's brush at a colossal entity that blotted out the sky, shouting at the top of his lungs. You have transgressed the boundary, hat crown lowered to earth, that is, divine deity, manifest in this world now. As his words rang out, the sky brightened. And as Domu vanished, those eyes lingered one last moment, staring deeply at Li Huang. But forcing back a divine deity using mortal ability? Even a deity's own past life in human form, a Xing Pan, pays with their life for this. Watching Zhuge Yuan's pupils slowly going dim, Li Huang tries every method he can think of to save him, all in vain. So he makes a decision. He will send his good brother off with his own two hands. Because Li Huang recalls that everyone he has killed so far has become one of his hallucinations. So he wants Zhuge Yuan to become one of his hallucinations too, and once his true manifestation technique is complete, he might be able to bring Zhuge Yuan back. Sure enough, not long after Zhuge Yuan dies, a voice sounds in his ear. Brotherly, would you introduce me to these companions? Zhuge Yuan has truly come back as a hallucination. Li Huang happily begins introducing Zhuge Yuan to his other hallucination friends. They leave the ongoing palace battle alone, with both the Hongzhong memory and the true manifestation technique in hand. There's no reason for Li Huang to stay. The news reaches them later that the Daliang emperor was killed by the Zhuang sect. But by then, Li Huang is already on a completely different level. Because Li Huang recalls that everyone he has killed so far has become one of his hallucinations. Having cultivated the true manifestation technique and gained the Hongzhong memories, Li Huang's power has already reached the pinnacle of the entire Daogui world. So he wants Zhuge Yuan to become one of his hallucinations too, and once his true manifestation technique is complete, he might be able to bring Zhuge Yuan back. Speaking of the most memorable cheat-level power in this story, what comes to mind? For me, the true manifestation technique, the absolute top-tier cheat of the entire Daogui world. Whatever you think, it becomes real. What's more critical is that this rule-bending technique isn't simply conjuring things from nothing. For example, if you believe you're the world's richest person, you don't just become the world's richest person, your entire past history and the historical trajectory of the world will change along with it. Everything rationalizes itself. The world fills in all the background details for you. And because Li Huang gains this technique, he truly steps onto the grand stage of challenging the gods of the Daogui world. This technique has 7 rounds total. Li Huang only needs to master 1 round to freely control hallucinations and move between both worlds at will. Daytime, cultivate true manifestation in the Daogui world. Nighttime, return to the modern world to keep his mother company. His ultimate goal now, to manifest the modern world into reality. But then a natural disaster strikes, and Bai Lingniao goes blind. So Li Huang sets off again, returning to the imperial palace to search for a cure. He takes a few Sword Heaven Division assignments and completes them rapidly. His current power has already transcended the ordinary. When he enters the palace to submit his completed assignments, Li Huang meets the acting regent emperor about to be crowned, Ji Ling. And it's this very encounter that pulls Li Huang into a scheme that's been running for hundreds of years. As it turns out, the Daliang imperial family has a chilling tradition. Princes and princesses are raised like animals in a pit, competing to survive. The last one alive becomes emperor. Ji Ling takes Li Huang to see the true dragon vein deep in the ancestral temple, and reveals every imperial secret, asking Li Huang to help him win the succession. Li Huang refuses outright. As just a completely ordinary person, he has no desire to get mixed up in any of this trouble. He just wants to live a normal life. But some things, you don't get a choice about. On his way back, he walks into a full-scale battle between the Sword Heaven Division and the FA sect. He has no intention of joining in. But then he spots someone carrying a magical sword forged from Zhuge Yuan's bones. This sends Li Huang into pure, cold fury. Someone made my brother's bones into a sword. Li Huoguang directly uses true manifestation to materialize his hallucinations, summoning the female general Peng Longteng. One female general is enough to wreak absolute havoc on everyone. Meanwhile, Li Huoguang keeps right on cultivating true manifestation. The white-robed scholar Zhuge Yuan's body begins to gradually materialize. This sends everyone into a panic and they scramble to flee, and those few bones are recovered. He originally plans to bury them, but under the hallucination Zhuge Yuan's persistent persuasion, Li Huoguang keeps them. This sword carries Zhuge Yuan's time travel ability. It can send people and objects back to the Qi kingdom of hundreds of years ago. At the same time, the Zhuoguang sect's supreme leader Head Tile comes looking. She demands Li Huoguang help Prince Ji Ling win the succession crisis. As it turns out, Head Tile launched the war and killed the previous emperor because he was suppressing Prince Ji Ling. First she commands Li Huoguang in her capacity as the Zhuoguang sect leader, since Red Center obeys the boss. But Li Huoguang refuses. Then she tells Li Huoguang that Bai Lingmiao is in her hands. This sends Li Huoguang into a violent rage and he unleashes his ultimate, the Cerulean Spear Ascension. But unfortunately, the Head Tile is not physically present. With no other option, he goes back to the Imperial Palace to help Ji Ling win. With Li Huoguang and Zhuge Yuan's help, the Imperial family slaughter quickly thins down until only a single little princess remains. At this point, Li Huoguang develops a slight change of heart. He doesn't want the succession crisis to end this quickly. So he decides to start protecting the little princess. Worth noting, throughout this imperial family war, Li Huoguang frequently travels back and forth to the Qi kingdom of hundreds of years ago. On one of those trips, Li Huoguang encounters virtual time Sun Yan and the child emperor of the Qi kingdom. A three-way battle breaks out. The child emperor, boosted by the dragon vein, shows overwhelming power. In the end, Li Huoguang and Sun Yan join forces to defeat the dragon vein. Since Sun Yan's ability relates to the flow of time, the child emperor's physical body is hurled forward to Daliang hundreds of years in the future. Li Huoguang returns to Daliang and finds the child emperor's body is gone. After asking around, he learns that someone matching that description did indeed exist. But that was 30 years ago. Meanwhile, in the modern world, Li Huoguang has during all this time made a new acquaintance in the psychiatric ward, a fellow patient called Qianfu. This doctor is genuinely warm-hearted and extraordinarily capable. He often accompanies Li Huoguang in analyzing the Daogui world's political situation, and helps Li Huoguang obtain official documentation. His only request is that Li Huoguang tries to act somewhat normal when hospital leadership comes for inspection. Returning to the Daogui world, Li Huoguang notices something is wrong. The little princess he was protecting has been killed by an assassin sent by Ji Ling. Li Huoguang doesn't want the power play to stabilize so quickly, so after eliminating the assassin, he has Li Sui put on the princess's skin, impersonating Princess Anping to stall for time. But out in the countryside, Li Huoguang encounters Daliang's national advisor. No battle breaks out. By now, Li Huoguang has both the power and the standing to sit at the negotiating table. After exchanging intelligence, they discover the Head Tile is inside the palace, disguised as a eunuch. They join forces and defeat the Head Tile, and in this moment, they finally learn the Head Tile's true goal. Prince Ji Ling turns out to be a woman who cannot have children. His physical functionality was given to him by Head Tile decades ago through a divine technique, because Ji Ling was actually born an imperial princess, so she could pass blood lineage verification and participate in the succession. This deception delivers a fatal blow to Daliang's dynastic line. Because Ji Ling cannot produce heirs, once Ji Ling's era ends there is no legitimate successor, and Daliang itself collapses. Head Tile designed a nation-destroying conspiracy spanning an entire era. Daliang's national advisor erupts in fury and summons a divine thunderbolt to strike Head Tile down. Back in the palace's garden, Head Tile's disguise, eunuch serving as Ji Ling's crown jewel, suddenly leaps up. This crown jewel is powerful, but it's no match for the national advisor. At this moment, hallucination Zhuge Yuan proposes a solution: find Daliang's child emperor and have him take the throne. That would reconnect the dragon vein. At this, Li Huoguang suddenly sees the full picture. Zhuge Yuan had seen through Head Tile's scheme long ago, but fearing Li Huoguang might truly be the Red Center, Zhuge Yuan had used this moment to secretly arrange a backup plan. The virtual time Sun Yan they encountered was actually Zhuge Yuan's good friend. That child emperor from hundreds of years ago, through Zhuge Yuan's arrangement, was guided forward to Daliang. Now only this child emperor can restore the dragon vein. In truth, Zhuge Yuan is a genuine gentleman in every sense. Everything he did was out of a hope to save the people of Qi. In his mind, the Qi kingdom of hundreds of years ago is the real one. Zhuge Yuan also knows he betrayed Li Huoguang's trust. So he chooses to atone with his life. The hallucination of Zhuge Yuan begins slowly dissolving. As he dissolves, he tells Li Huoguang that these hallucinations are not necessarily a good thing, and the Hongzhong memories may not be real either. As for the divine deity Domu giving him this memory, it was certainly arranged as part of some scheme. He asks Li Huoguang, going forward on the true manifestation path, to prioritize staying alive above all else. Don't stubbornly charge headfirst into things that could kill you. Brother Li, take care of yourself. In that moment, Li Huoguang's sworn brother vanished completely and forever from this world. Devastated, Li Huoguang chooses to flee to the modern world to escape reality. His longtime companion Dr. Yi Donglai begins to counsel him. In a gentle voice he tells Li Huoguang, "Your wife Bai Lingmiao is still waiting for you to save her. Your daughter Li Sui is also waiting for you to come back. I can search online for a solution. Yi Donglai believes Li Huowang is simply under too much stress, so he gives Li Huowang a sedative injection directly, forcibly snapping him back to the Daogui world. Li Huowang sits alone thinking for a very long time. In the end he decides to stop running. He chooses to pick up Zhuge Yuan's burden and save the Qi kingdom of hundreds of years ago. So he goes to the location where the Qi child emperor was sent through time. After asking around, it turns out the child emperor traveled back to over 30 years ago. That child emperor who arrived in the village was born a simpleton, mentally disabled, and was later taken away by a swindler Taoist immortal. Li Huowang has an epiphany. So his simpleton junior disciple Gao Zhijian is actually the child emperor of the Qi kingdom. On the other side, Gao Zhijian is still out shopping with Li Sui. Li Huowang tracks him down and explains everything. Gao Zhijian doesn't particularly care about any of this, whatever concerns his senior brother Li Huowang, he will help with everything he has. With Ji Ling's bitter suicide, Gao Zhijian is welcomed by all the ministers into the palace and formally ascends the throne, inheriting the dragon vein. But at the very moment of crowning, the situation erupts. The ancestral temple collapses instantly. Gao Zhijian stands on the dragon vein laughing uncontrollably, hurling insults at the Zhuowang sect's divine deity Domu. Li Huowang recalls that Gao Zhijian's skull was once struck with a head tile, and this Gao Zhijian is now fully under the head tile's control. It turns out head tile was never suppressing Ji Ling from the start. From beginning to end, the one being suppressed was the Seven Kingdom child emperor, Gao Zhijian. Every step Li Huowang took, even Zhuge Yuan's elaborate schemes, all of it was within head tile's control. Head tile's ultimate goal, boosted by the dragon vein, sees control of Domu's heavenly Tao, using mortal ability to scheme against a deity. This is head tile's 100-year conspiracy. But whatever the outcome, Li Huowang has to save his junior disciple. So he immediately goes all out against the head tile. At the same time, Bai Lingmiao leads the Bai Lian Jiao faction to help. As it turns out, Bai Lingmiao was never actually in the head tile's hands, she had been deceived. Since the dragon vein is involved, an enormous number of factions pour in to deal with the head tile. Head tile hastily swallows the dragon vein and temporarily retreats. Everyone is left with no choice but to sit down and strategize. The Sword Heaven Division's supreme leader, the Shi Tianjian, takes charge. This Xian Bai, reputedly the strongest Shi Tianjian in history, is someone even the national advisor must defer to. He tells everyone, the head tile was originally Domu's Xingpan, and a Xingpan is a divine deity's past life, carefully chosen by the deity themselves. These past lives are all hand-selected by the deity. Without a Xingpan, the deity itself would fade away. So deities typically select multiple Xingpan at once. Head tile, in this move, has fed all the Zhuowang agents to their deaths. And in doing so, with the dragon vein's boost, she has shed the identity of Xingpan entirely. This means Domu may be on the verge of disappearing. This head tile is genuinely scheming against a divine deity with a mortal's body. Xianbai says finding the head tile is easy enough, but safely extracting the head tile from the emperor's head while keeping the emperor alive. That's an astronomical challenge. Suddenly Xianbai activates his ability and pulls Li Huowang aside for a private deal. He asks Li Huowang, when facing head tile, use true manifestation with everything he has. Xianbai will support him from behind. Looking at this supposedly number one Shi Tianjian, Li Huowang doesn't have time to feel relieved, he just agrees. Meanwhile, the head tile isn't sitting still either. She uses the emperor's identity to muster soldiers and launch an assault on the imperial palace. The full-scale war ignites. Li Huowang stands at the center of the battlefield, facing the head tile directly. But even with Xianbai's assistance, they can't defeat this head tile who has seized the dragon vein. And at this moment, Li Huowang senses Domu's summoning. Domu wants the red center, Li Huowang, to become her Xingpan. Because when Domu gave Li Huowang the Hongzhong memories, Li Huowang's past was already altered. So Li Huowang is now the Zhuowang sect's red center. As a Zhuowang sect member, he can become Domu's Xingpan. Li Huowang prepares to accept this reality, that he is Domu's Xingpan. He prepares to accept the power to help his future self. But at this very moment, searing pain erupts through his entire body. Ba Hui, the deity of pain, has also arrived. Ba Hui and Domu start fighting over Li Huowang. They both want him as their Xingpan. This snaps Li Huowang out of Domu's manipulation instantly. Li Huowang will not go quietly. He shouts at the sky, I, Li Huowang, will inevitably become a divine deity someday, and my future self will certainly come to help my past self. And my future self is itself a divine deity. I am myself the heavenly Tao. With those words spoken, the innate energy inside Li Huowang is rapidly depleted. By such a declaration of cause and effect, his true manifestation ability should have directly caused a catastrophic chain reaction. But Xianbai had earlier selflessly poured hundreds of years' worth of accumulated innate energy into Li Huowang. At this moment, Li Huowang is the number one true manifestation practitioner in this world. And it is for this reason that the divine deity known as Jizai formally appears. And at this very moment, both worlds begin to overlap. Li Huowang sees the modern world's hospital. In the modern world, Li Huowang is undergoing a rehabilitation test with Dr. Yi Donglai. In Li Huowang's eyes, the enormous dragon vein has transformed into a playground slide. He slowly climbs up the slide and opens the lamp cover at the top. Inside is an 18-faced head tile. At the same time, a shriek from the head tile echoes in Li Huowang's ear. This can't be. This is absolutely impossible. I am the dragon vein right now. Where am I? That place is real. You cannot stop me. Li Huowang doesn't engage with any of it. He calmly reaches in and removes the head tile, handing it to Dr. Yi Donglai. He has successfully passed the rehabilitation test. Taking down the head tile in the modern world is essentially a dimensional reduction strike from a higher plane. In the modern world, Li Huowang merely climbs a slide and removes a lamp cover head tile. But in the Daogui world, Gao Zhijian, perched on the enormous dragon vein, suddenly snaps awake. The head tile inside his head simply vanishes without explanation. This is the most brilliant and most insane world building in all of Daogui Yixin. From the moment Li Huowang masters true manifestation, the connection between the two worlds becomes visible to the naked eye. The core appeal of the entire work begins fully expressing itself from this moment forward. First, the head tile is not simply destroyed. In fact, this Supreme Zhuohuang sect leader has successfully made it into what's called the Immortal Realm, the White Jade Capital. At the same time, Li Huowang questions Jizai on many points, but gets no useful answers, only a request from Jizai for Li Huowang's help. Jizai says Li Huowang needs to help seize the divine deity Domu's heavenly Tao. As for how to do this, or what the plan is, Jizai reveals nothing. Though it may seem baffling, Li Huowang has genuinely resolved one divine deity problem. Meanwhile in the modern world, Li Huowang recovers enough that he transfers to a new hospital. At this new hospital, he encounters a corrupt doctor. That doctor has seen surveillance footage of Li Huowang manifesting things from the Daogui world. So he wants Li Huowang to bring things from the Daogui world over for him. So he begins torturing Li Huowang to extract a confession. But he has absolutely no idea what kind of being he's provoked. On the other side, in the Daogui world, Li Huowang is ambushed and kidnapped by a large number of national advisors. During the battle with the national advisors, Li Huowang severs 3 of his own limbs, and even bites off 3 fingers on his remaining arm, before finally driving them back. Meanwhile in the modern world, the doctor is subjecting Li Huowang to what he believes is the most terrifying punishment imaginable, electroconvulsive therapy. Li Huowang only feels a wave of refreshing pleasure. Absolutely divine. What this doctor intended as torture has become Li Huowang's personal massage and relaxation session. Next, Li Huowang uses something he brought back from the Daogui world to break free of his restraints. He lets this doctor experience what genuine, terrifying punishment actually feels like. In the end, the doctor, unrecognizable, barely human, gives up the name of the mastermind behind all this. That mastermind is on a large ship. Li Huowang immediately escapes the hospital and heads for the ship. Correspondingly, in the Daogui world, the national advisors are defeated and flee. Li Huowang and Li Sui track them, finding Domu's Xingpan on a wooden boat. He uses the self-blade 5 elements technique to kill Domu's Xingpan. This Xingpan is the last one Domu has remaining in the mortal world. In the modern world, Li Huowang descends like a god from on high, personally slaughtering his way through the entire ship. Both worlds proceed simultaneously. By now Li Huowang has achieved perfect dual-world operation, running both timelines at once. As the slaughter ends, the entire world suddenly undergoes a massive shift. Everything resets to the starting point. Li Huowang returns to the day he was transferred to the new hospital, and through observation he notices that corrupt doctor has become a good person. The Daogui world experiences another catastrophe. As the catastrophe strikes, everyone's memories change, and all of this happens because Domu was destroyed by Li Huowang. The appearance of a catastrophe represents a divine deity's death. Everything the dead deity had ever schemed will vanish completely from this world, causing time to flow backwards and memories to change. Thinking about this, Li Huowang feels a chill run down his spine. This means that in the previous catastrophes, the world had already changed too. As the slaughter ends, the entire world suddenly undergoes a massive shift, and everything resets back to the starting point. And back then, he hadn't yet mastered true manifestation, so he retained no memories from before those changes. And at this moment, Li Huowang summons Jizai. Jizai announces that he has now seized the heavenly Tao of Yinyang Domu, and is now far more powerful than before. Li Huowang then asks more questions about the current situation, but Jizai still refuses to say anything useful, only repeating, "Very good, keep it up." This infuriates Li Huowang greatly. He's deeply uncomfortable with the way his future self is acting. During the period they spent dealing with the head tile and Yinyang Domu, a new force had been quietly growing across the 7 kingdoms and Liang, eventually establishing its own nation. This is the Fa sect, a faith composed of countless impoverished common people. Their god is an external divine deity that came from outside. Skilled at winning people over with empty promises, the Fa sect expands at stunning speed. Before long, this faction has grown powerful enough to assault the Imperial Palace. When Li Huowang arrives at the Imperial Palace, he notices something unsettling. The supposedly dead strongest Shi Tianjian is secretly following him in the shadows, watching his every move. Li Huowang assumes he's being kept under surveillance, and explodes in furious rage. Xian Bai. Right in front of you, using true manifestation, I've manifested the divine deity of confusion into existence. Don't tell me you didn't see that. But the moment those words leave his mouth, heaven and earth convulse violently, and a catastrophe strikes. Simultaneously, the FA sect launches a surprise assault on the Imperial Palace, and many innocent people and Li Huowang's close friends die in this single night. After a night of bloody battle, Li Huowang screams for Jizai, but gets no response. When Jizai finally reappears, Jizai says he vanished just now because of a cause and effect issue originating from Li Huowang himself. It was the word manifest that caused Jizai to disappear. Apparently Li Huowang's true manifestation ability is no longer fully under his control. On the other side, the modern world Li Huowang has made a new acquaintance at the psychiatric ward, another patient called Qianfu. And this Qianfu is actually the earthly projection of the divine deity of death. Each divine deity has projections in the modern world. Through conversation, Li Huowang learns that Qianfu has been targeted by a mysterious organization, and that ordinary people can't see those mysterious figures. But Li Huowang thinks Qianfu is just a psychiatric patient. Additionally, because of Li Huowang's good behavior, he finally gets to leave the hospital. Though life after discharge is very happy, he still constantly feels as if someone is watching him from behind. And the people watching him genuinely aren't ordinary people, they're the mysterious organization Qianfu mentioned, the earthly projections of those external divine deities. Not long after, these people abduct Li Huowang. But they've badly underestimated his current level of power. Li Huowang deals one dead and one injured among them immediately. After calling the police, the officers review security footage, and all they see is Li Huowang fighting thin air. This reminds Li Huowang of what Qianfu had said: the mysterious organization is invisible to ordinary people. For the bulk of what follows, Li Huowang operates on two fronts simultaneously. In the Daogui world, Li Huowang is captured through a trap and swallowed into the belly of a massive creature. Trapped along with him are Bai Lingmiao, Li Sui, and others. Trapped in a desperate situation, Li Huowang frantically calls for Jizai, but receives no response whatsoever. The only way out now is to use the Cerulean Spear Ascension. But performing the technique requires mind and body to simultaneously reach absolute agony. To help Li Huowang and Li Sui escape, Bai Lingmiao deliberately throws herself into a swarm of monsters to be devoured. Li Huowang watches this, and the absolute mental agony is instantly achieved. Then, working with Li Sui's tentacles, Li Huowang uses countless instruments of torture to tear himself apart. Absolute physical agony is also achieved. The Cerulean Spear Ascension successfully releases, and Ba Hui's power breaks open their prison. During this ascension, Li Huowang senses not only Ba Hui far above, he also senses the presence of the external divine deities and the AI Shen. Fortunately, Bai Lingmiao doesn't die completely, she can still be saved. Li Huowang calls for Jizai again in furious rage, and this time, Jizai appears. Jizai says he was just in the White Jade capital rescuing an ally and couldn't make it in time. Meanwhile in the modern world, Li Huowang and Yang Na go to the psychiatric ward together to rescue Qianfu. Then Qianfu recommends two more people also being targeted by the mysterious organization, another psychiatric patient named Chen Hongyu, and a young graduate student named Qin Wanglai. Both, like Li Huowang, have been targeted by the mysterious organization, so they form an alliance. In truth, Chen Hongyu is the earthly projection of the divine deity of decay, and Qin Wanglai is the projection of the divine deity of injury. So in reality, this alliance is an alliance of divine deities. In the Daogui world, Li Huowang unknowingly manifests a baby girl through true manifestation. Just as he's about to leave holding the fake baby, he suddenly sees the real one standing beside him. Li Huowang smiles knowingly, and the fake one he was holding quietly dissolves. He simply finds true manifestation incredibly fascinating. But before long, he discovers just how terrifying this ability really is. During a battle with the FA sect, Li Huowang begins to doubt whether Bai Lingmiao was manifested into existence by himself. This nearly causes Bai Lingmiao to vanish into thin air. Fortunately, Bai Lingmiao's divine deity, Wuxing Laomi, intervenes in time, saving Bai Lingmiao. Li Huowang recalls what the head tile once said: manifesting things incorrectly causes problems. So Li Huowang decides to start learning the Zhuowang sex techniques. The most important part of cultivating the Zhuowang sex techniques is accumulating Fei Gang, a form of energy essential to Zhuowang cultivation. To obtain Fei Gang, you must use lies to deceive people. Li Huowang deceives Xian Bai and obtains a massive amount of Fei Gang. In his estimation, this supposedly greatest Shi Tianjian in history is actually very easy to fool. But is Xian Bai truly easy to fool? Meanwhile, the FA sect, fueled by faith in external divine deities, summons a corrupted deity called Matuo. And Li Huowang senses the aura of greed on this Matuo. Since greed and decay were once linked as a pair, their current separate presence suggests one of the two is now dominant. In other words, Matuo is the very entity responsible for the previous disappearance of decay. The divine deity of decay, Jing Tai, died because of Matuo. Realizing this, Li Huowang's fury goes incandescent. He activates every skill he has simultaneously. Using the Self-Blade 5 Elements technique to rip out his heart and back, he enters combat mode. Through true manifestation he summons Dan Yangzi and the female general. He even manifests the white-robed scholar Zhuge Yuan back once more. And so, Li Huowang finally defeats Ma Tuo. The Ma Tuo event corresponds to Li Huowang in the modern world becoming a superhero. There, Li Huowang holds a steel rebar and takes on a truck head-on. The connection between the two worlds grows more and more obvious to Li Huowang's eyes. Meanwhile in the modern world, Li Huowang also gets acquainted with two siblings from the 8th generation. Through conversation with the two of them, Li Huowang realizes they are the earthly projections of the divine deity Ba Hui. He also finally understands, the enemies in the modern world are the external divine deities that the FA sect worships. And the allies he's encountered are all projections of those divine deities. But even these powerfully transcendent divine deities can vanish just like that in the modern world. Xianfu, the projection of the divine deity of death, in another clash with the mysterious organization, dies. Before dying, he passes the heavenly Tao of death to Li Huowang's girlfriend Yang Na. To prevent Li Huowang from getting himself killed like Xianfu, Yang Na sends Li Huowang back to the hospital and asks Dr. Yi to begin treatment. And Yang Na hands over all the leads about fighting the mysterious organization to Yi Donglai. This kind-hearted doctor, though now fully informed of their situation, finds that all these incidents happen in the camera's blind spots, so Yi Donglai can only half believe it. But when Li Huowang spots an 18-faced head tile on the doctor's desk, he quietly pockets it. And it's this one action that sends the head tile soaring straight into the white jade capital. Because a great deal had also been happening in the Daogui world. For instance, when the divine deity of death disappeared, a catastrophe struck. Another Shi Tianjian sets up a grand formation and charges toward the white jade capital. Rumor has it Xianbai is heading into the White Jade capital to save a certain divine deity. Li Huowang has no idea what circuit in Xianbai's mind misfired, with the FA sect almost unifying the entire world. This giant just up and ran away. He has absolutely no idea which deity matters this much to Xianbai. But there's nothing to be done about it now. The only one left holding things together is Li Huowang himself. After all, the Douyang Emperor is his own junior disciple. What else can he do? But before long, the FA sect forces Li Huowang into a dead corner. He forcibly manifests a dragon pearl spirit formation and charges toward the white jade capital. And the head tile in Li Huowang's hand in the modern world is swept along into the white jade capital too. The instant Li Huowang enters the white jade capital, he becomes Jizai. He finally learns the truth. A group of external divine deities from another world have forcibly broken into the white jade capital. The native divine deities are fighting back with everything they have. Along with these chaotic memories, he feels like his body is about to explode. It's only when Li Huowang gouges out one of his own eyeballs that the pain lessens slightly. But at this moment, Li Huowang is still his past self, the previous Jizai. He doesn't yet have the true and false heavenly Taoist in hand. So he goes looking for the past version of himself, Li Huowang, to help seize the true and false heavenly Taoist. As for the questions the past Li Huowang asks, he knows nothing, so all he can answer is, very good, keep it up. And with the true and false heavenly Taoist obtained, Li Huowang joins the battle of divine deities. But facing an external divine deity who governs the heavenly Tao of vision, he cannot kill his opponent without eyes. So the modern world's Li Huowang gouges out his own left eye, and that eyeball crashes into the white jade capital. This allows the Daogui world's Li Huowang to suppress his opponent. Just as the native divine deities are about to win, a massive rift tears open in the white jade capital sky. Inside are even more powerful enemies. And to repair this rift, a vessel is required. Li Huowang pours in every vessel he has, but discovers it's nowhere near enough. And at that moment, Li Sui's voice rings out. Dad, here, this is all I have. As Li Sui gives her vessel, the rift closes just a little more. But without a vessel to protect her body, Li Sui's body suddenly begins to tear apart under the white jade capital's forces. Wait, Dad, I'm sorry. I've always been so useless. I could only help you this tiny little bit. If only I could have helped you more. With Li Huowang's howl of despair echoing outward, Li Sui's shattered body falls out of the white jade capital. Even though Li Sui gave everything she had, the rift still isn't fully sealed. Inside the rift, external divine deities are about to break through into the white jade capital. And right at this critical, razor-thin moment, Li Huowang senses an enormous vessel appearing. He looks, it's the Shi Tianjian, Xianbai, carrying an immense load of vessels, frantically searching for something in the chaos. Li Huowang immediately shouts out, I'm over here. At Li Huowang's voice, Xianbai finally locks onto his target. Carrying that enormous vessel, he drives straight into Li Huowang's body. The colossal, overwhelming vessel instantly fills the rift completely. The native divine deities of the white jade capital finally drive back the external invaders. Li Huowang and Xianbai slowly fall out of the white jade capital together, along with the 18-faced head tile. who also successfully returns to the Daogui world. In the corresponding modern world, Li Huowang descends like a divine warrior into a storm of gunfire, and tears apart every enemy by hand. The Daogui world's FA sect uprising completely evaporates. Everything returns to normal. We won. Ha ha ha. We won. Don't even think about conquering our world. Ha 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 ha. Yes, 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 yes. You won. You won. The protagonist gestates for years through unimaginable hardship, and gives birth to his own crown corpse. That sentence, placed in any other work, would make jaws drop to the floor. But in Dao Gui Xian, this very premise feels somehow utterly reasonable, and perfectly natural. My Dao Gui, this hurts. Li Sui started as nothing more than a blood fragment inside Li Huowang's stomach. By a quirk of fate, she was accidentally granted consciousness through true manifestation, and became Li Huowang's child. From the moment of her birth, she began studying and growing continuously. Her sole purpose in life, to help her father Li Huowang as much as possible. But in one white jade capital divine deity battle, Li Sui sacrificed all of her vessels to Li Huowang. Without vessels to protect her body, she fell out of the white jade capital and tumbled back to the Qi kingdom of 160 years ago. But even across those 160 years, she never forgot to help her father. To collect vessels for her dad, she devoured countless people, and even swallowed 2 powerful Shi Tian Jian. Because she still remembered, her father desperately needed vessels. She lived alone for over 100 years, and became the strongest Shi Tian Jian in history, Xian Bai. Finally, in that divine deity battle, she rushed onto the battlefield and delivered the vessels to her beloved father. In Li Huowang's eyes, from the moment Li Sui fell to Xian Bai's appearance, only a few seconds passed. But those mere seconds were Li Sui's 100-plus-year journey of waiting. Though they're reunited, Li Huowang always senses something different between the Xian Bai in front of him and the Li Sui he knew. But he can't put his finger on what exactly. And right now Li Huowang isn't dwelling on it. After all, with this round of divine deity crisis resolved, he has become the most effortlessly dominant protagonist in this entire world. A junior disciple who trusts him 100% is the current emperor. The officially confirmed #1 combat power in the land, the greatest Shi Tian Jian in history, is his own daughter. To deal with the FA sex by Lian Jiao, the continent's #1 cult, his wife is their saint. At this point, Li Huowang is triumphant, riding a wave of satisfaction and momentum. If someone pressed the pause button right here, it would make a near-perfect wish-fulfillment novel ending. But the reason Dao Gui Xian has become a masterpiece is that author Hu Wei's madness has only just begun. The entire work's chaos is resolved in the most unimaginable way into a perfect closed loop. And today, Aki is going to try to help you understand the ending of Dao Gui Xian, said to be the most chaotic and complex finale in the history of web novels. The last divine deity battle, though it filled the rift, still has the external divine deities continuing their invasion. So Li Huowang has the Sword Heaven Division join forces with the Bai Lian Jiao to set up a grand formation, helping Bai Lingmiao connect with Wuxing Laomi and restore her to her rightful place. With Wuxing Laomi restored to her place, the divine deity of death also descends anew. As mentioned before, Qianfu had handed the heavenly Tao of death to Yang Na, and Wuxing Laomi's return now brings the heavenly Tao of death back with it. This confirms that Yang Na is Wuxing Laomi's earthly projection. And in the modern world, Yang Na quickly accepts the reality of being Wuxing Laomi, because Yang Na has been through many strange events alongside Li Huowang, and her trust in him is 100%. But suddenly a new crisis erupts in the Daogui world. On top of the Daliang timeline and the Seven Kingdoms timeline, a third timeline appears, the Tiancheng Kingdom timeline. This is a timeline even earlier than the Seven Kingdoms. They can also connect to the Seven Kingdoms and Daliang through Xing Pan like Zhuge Yuan. And their combat power is clearly a cut above the Seven Kingdoms and Daliang. They want to kill the White Lian Jiao Saint Bai Lingmiao. Li Huowang clashes with them repeatedly without gaining the upper hand. And in Tiancheng Kingdom, Li Huowang encounters the Tiancheng offering, Zhuo Qiu Yong. He is a human divine deity who sees the heavenly Tao that should belong to Wuxing Laomi. Know that in the Daogui world, even a projection of a divine deity is enough to crush all opposition. So an actual divine deity appearing in the mortal world is something comparable to a god walking the earth. Li Huowang pours out every skill he has but can only take punishment after punishment. Then at this critical, razor-thin moment, a natural disaster suddenly erupts. Head Tile hastily claims this natural disaster is a divine deity coming to help, and uses that claim to scare off this human divine deity. And this natural disaster was caused by modern world Li Huowang personally killing a typhoon. Their group had chased enemies to the deep ocean, and there, they were inexplicably struck by a typhoon attack. Everyone on board the ship, including Yang Na, was killed. Furious Li Huowang borrows Yang Na's body, carries her, and charges straight into the typhoon formation. He transforms into a superhero, armed with a military knife, and single-handedly kills the typhoon. This causes time to flow backwards. Yang Na and the others are revived. Their alliance reshuffles and continues hunting down the projections of the external divine deities. In the Daoguo world after this, Li Huowang pushes forward relentlessly with true manifestation training, eventually breaking through to the 6th round. And at this point, Zhuo Qiuyong can no longer be beaten. This human divine deity's strength is far beyond anything anyone imagined. He is essentially fighting the entire world's strongest fighters single-handedly, while the battle situation is completely dominated by him pressing everyone down. Fortunately, Emperor Gao Zhijian brings 5 dragon veins, allowing Li Huowang to deploy the dragon-binding immortal formation to stabilize the front. Working together with the head tile and Li Sui, Li Huowang forcibly rips the dragon vein out of Zhuo Qiuyong's body. Bei Li Miao then seizes the chance to stuff the heavenly Tao of death inside him, because the heavenly Tao of death happens to directly counter the heavenly Tao of growth. This is how they barely manage to deal with this human divine deity. After handling Zhuo Qiuyong, Li Sui suddenly tells Li Huowang the truth. During those 160 years, she had merged with quite a few people to survive. While gaining others' abilities, those people's consciousnesses also seeped into and influenced her. In particular, having merged with 2 powerful Shi Tianjian, her original consciousness was nearly completely overwritten by theirs. She tells Li Huowang, she is now Shi Tianjian Xian Bai, not Li Sui. Hearing this news, Li Huowang cannot accept it. But before he can grieve for long, a colossal figure as tall as the sky suddenly enters the battlefield. This is Zhuo Qiuyong's true form. Looking at this sky-blotting, ground-swallowing enormous figure, it's no wonder he could control the heavenly Tao with a mortal's body. To deal with him, Li Huowang borrows Xian Bai's innate energy. Finally, his true manifestation reaches the 7th round. All that is thought, all that is imagined, is made real. And in this moment, the 2 worlds overlap. In the real world, Li Huowang cooperates with Yang Na to deal with a female projection of an external divine deity. This causes time in the real world to flow backwards once more, and the historical trajectory of the Daoguo world changes along with it. Zhuo Qiuyong becomes a good person and joins Li Huowang as an ally. But just as everything is turning for the better, the Tuzi suddenly launches a sneak attack on Zhuo Qiuyong. The modern world Li Huowang is furious beyond words. He grabs the Tuzi and starts biting him. But then Qin Wanlai suddenly appears and snatches the Tuzi away. It turns out the Tuzi has defected to the divine deity Sanqing, Qin Wanlai. And with Sanqing's help, the Tuzi has also become a divine deity, manifesting a projection in the modern world. As for why he did all of this, the Tuzi leader simply finds it amusing. On the other side, external divine deities descend again in the Daoguo world, attempting to directly devour Zhuo Qiuyong. Li Huowang tries to stop them but is blocked. And in this moment, Xian Bai leads 1,000,000 soldiers in self-sacrifice, summoning the military divine deity, Jiang Xiangshou. In the end, with everyone working together, this crisis is resolved. But to summon Jiang Xiangshou, Xian Bai includes herself in the sacrifice. When Li Huowang finds her, she is barely breathing and near death. Her body is tearing apart, constantly breaking down. The dried, shriveled tentacles slowly unfurl, and deep within countless tentacles are 3 clay figures. Though already barely held together, you can still faintly make out the shapes of Li Huowang, Bai Lingmiao, and Li Sui. To protect the Daoguo world, Gao Zhijian and Li Huowang have the entire world's population turned toward the prosperous Longsha. Just go through the ritual and you become part of the military. Only Baixing village is protected and excluded. But when they go to check on the results, they find Zhuo Qiuyong is dead. His heavenly Tao of growth has vanished. Through true manifestation, Li Huowang sees that Sanqing is devouring the heavenly Tao of growth. So Li Huowang leads all his allies to the modern world to confront Sanqing. Faced with everyone's accusations, Sanqing admits to seizing all the heavenly Taos, then swiftly escapes. Meanwhile, due to the previous battles, Li Huowang has lost the ability to operate on 2 fronts simultaneously in both worlds. The 2 worlds Li Huowang begins moving in sync, back to the original chaotic state of the early story. With no choice, he has to find that kind doctor again and restart treatment. But this treatment session causes Dr. Yi Donglai to realize he himself is Deluo. To conduct hypnotherapy on Li Huowang, he immerses himself in Li Huowang's world of light. While inducing the hypnosis, he says, "Do you know why you can become a divine deity under my treatment? Because I am Deluo, I am this world itself." Of course, at this point Dr. Yi Donglai is only immersing himself for the hypnotherapy. Inside the dream, Li Huowang fights Sanqing over a name. The character, Wang, from Li Huang, is stolen by San Qing, and the characters, Li and Hua, are capped and suppressed. And in the struggle, Li Huang incidentally destroys a small town, the same town that was once wiped out by the Red Boat. A brief explanation here: every divine deity actually governs two heavenly Taos. Li Huang actually governs both confusion and clarity. But before Li Huang could become a divine deity, San Qing took the heavenly Tao of clarity one step ahead. So in the dream, Li Huang dreaming his name was taken by San Qing actually represents how his heavenly Tao of clarity is in San Qing's hands. As the treatment continues, Li Huang's consciousness gradually clears. He slowly brings a Yangshua pill from the Daogui world out in front of Dr. Yi Donglai. This completely shatters Yi Donglai's worldview. He had often discussed the Daogui world with Li Huang and Yang Na, but had never truly believed it was real. And then event after event, each more outlandish than the last, until this Yangshua pill appeared before his eyes. He believes it. He truly believes there really is a Daogui world. But at this point, he still doesn't know what role he himself plays in all of this. At the same time, in the Daogui world, Li Huang once again ascends to the White Jade Capital. But by now, the external divine deity Fuxing Tian has already poked massive holes through more than half the White Jade Capital, and on top of that, a colossal finger is breaking through what's left and driving toward the mortal world. Millions and millions of people performing the self-sacrifice ritual flood toward the heavens, summoning Jiangxiang Shou once more. Li Huang relies on true manifestation to forcibly fuse the warrior technique with Jiangxiang Shou, barely enough to smash that enormous finger. And in the corresponding modern world, Li Huang holds his military knife and fights thin air. His body twists and lunges to the left and right. He is actually this world itself. But at this point, this ultimate final battle is only just beginning. With Dr. Yi Donglai's help, Li Huang once again heads to the outer side of the White Jade Capital. And there, the native divine deities and the Fuxing Tian divine deities are locked in battle. Because entering the White Jade Capital means Li Huang becomes Jizai, he urgently contacts the Daogui world's Li Huang to send reinforcements. Before long, Gao Zhijian brings 6 dragon veins into the White Jade Capital. Bai Lingyao also charges in with 2 Jiangxiang Shou. But the instant they enter the White Jade Capital, Bai Lingyao slowly begins to merge with Yang Na, becoming the complete Wuxing Laomi. And in the corresponding modern world battle, things grow even more brutal. Except for Head Tile and Li Huang, every native divine deity is poisoned to death by Qin Wanglai's scheme. Modern world Li Huang watches Head Tile standing beside Qin Wanglai. He reasons that given Head Tile's personality, there's absolutely no way he'd have no defense against Qin Wanglai. He must have kept a hand in reserve. So Li Huang urgently speaks up. But Head Tile simply finds divine deity warfare to be a bunch of lunatics brawling with each other, completely no fun. So he shoots himself dead, right then and there. Fortunately, Li Huang eventually deals with another external divine deity projection. This causes time to flow backwards once more, reviving all the dead divine deities. Worth noting, this time reversal means that kind doctor who now considers himself the Luo also retains all memory of everything that happened before. And with everyone's help, Li Huang successfully defeats Qin Wanglai. Correspondingly, in the White Jade Capital, the divine deity San Qing who governs secrets directly explodes. The secret of Fuxing Tian spreads in an instant of his death across the entire White Jade Capital, filling it with terror. So Jizai has no choice but to once again seek help from the Daogui world's Li Huang. To fight back against Fuxing Tian, Jizai deceives the Daogui world's Li Huang, promising that everyone will be able to return. And the Daogui world roars with heroic splendor, a resonant voice echoes across the entire Daogui world. Still not enough. Still more. 8 more Jiangxiang Shou. Under Li Huang's organization, everyone in the world begins their sacrifice. This isn't a few 100,000 soldiers this time, it's every living person, every common person, the entire world. The entire Daogui world echoes with their battle cry, the heavenly Tao is incomplete, every man will fight. Then, across the entire Daogui world, every living person simultaneously cuts off their own head. A towering wave of killing energy rockets skyward. In an instant, a dozen plus Jiangxiang Shou, carrying all the vessels, burst into the White Jade Capital. The moment they arrive at the White Jade Capital, all the terror is swept away by this overwhelming killing energy. Even after merging all the dragon veins and Jiangxiang Shou, it still doesn't feel like enough. So he also seizes the Daogui world's Li Huang, taking everything including the heart cultivator abilities. For the final battle, he swallows all the heavenly Daos, and also reclaims the stolen heavenly Tao of clarity to restore clarity of mind. But even with all of this, facing the incomprehensibly powerful Fuxing Tian, his consciousness is suppressed into utter helplessness. What terrifies him even more is realizing he's only facing a dandruff flake shed from Fuxing Tian's scalp. In the end, he finds the solution. He stuffs everything outside of the heavenly Tao of confusion into Dr. Yi Donglai, into the Luo, then swallows him whole. He keeps telling himself, over and over, all of this is a hallucination. All of this is fake. Then, with the sound of a doctor calling out to him, his illness is cured. And that kind Dr. Yi Donglai has gone insane. But with Yi Donglai going insane, the Daogui world returns to normal, all the supernatural threats vanish completely. But in the Daogui world, Li Huowang has lost everything. In this world, everyone has died, everyone except the people of Baixing village. And every ability on his body has also been stripped away by Jizai. Jizai. You lied. You promised me. You said they'd all come back. You clearly promised me. Why does it have to be me? Why does it always have to be me? I'm still alive. And at this moment, he sees the ghost of Li Sui. Li Huowang is struck by a sudden thought. Ghosts will do. Even if there are only ghosts. Jizai. I was wrong about you. One full moon, waxing and waning, at the far edge of cold hearts is the long moon. Ghosts are fine. Even ghosts are fine. As a flash of golden light passes, Li Huowang ascends. I think for most viewers, the ending of Daogui is still something of a fog. First we need to know, the true real world is actually Deluo. Both the Daogui world and the modern world are reflections within Deluo, so these two worlds share many overlapping events. And Deluo is in turn influenced by the White Jade Capital. Because the White Jade Capital exists beyond any notion of wealth or poverty, it has no concept of time. So the histories of these three worlds are all. They are all subject to the White Jade Capital's influence and change. As for why this world went so completely insane, it's because a high-dimensional world called Fuxing Tian was passing by. Such a mysterious, powerful, and terrifying existence simply frightened all the beings of this world out of their wits. And in the ending, Li Huowang stuffed all the heavenly Daos except for confusion into Deluo and then swallowed him whole. This wraps the entire Daogui world inside the heavenly Dao of confusion. As long as there's enough confusion, they no longer fear Fuxing Tian, no longer generate any fear of Fuxing Tian. Which is essentially, as long as I've gone crazy enough, nothing can scare me anymore. As for the endings of Li Huowang across the various worlds, they each differ. As for why this world has gone so completely mad, it's because a high-dimensional existence called Fuxing Tian passed through. Such a mysterious, powerful, and terrifying presence simply drove the ordinary people of this world to total bewilderment. In the ending, Li Huowang stuffs every heavenly Dao except the confusion Dao into Deluo, and then swallows Deluo whole, leaving the entire Daogui world wrapped in the confusion Dao as well. As long as there is enough confusion Dao saturating the world, they will no longer fear Fuxing Tian, they won't generate any dread of it whatsoever. In other words, the logic is, as long as I'm crazy enough, you can't frighten me. As for the endings of Li Huowang across the different worlds, each one turns out very differently. The modern world's Li Huowang, because the heavenly Dao of confusion was seized by Jizai, has had his clarity restored, and has become a normal person. The still confused Dr. Yi Donglai has become a through-and-through psychiatric patient. As for the Daogui world's Li Huowang, that ending is the bleakest. The people by his side are all gone, and he becomes a village guardian. However, based on the final ascension description, there's most likely a ghost realm appearing in the Daogui world, which means Li Huowang may be able to bring back Bailey Miao, Li Sui, and others. Of course, all of this is just speculation. But all in all, Li Huowang's life was genuinely an incredibly busy one. Compared to other protagonists with clear, defined goals, he belongs to the category of helplessly pushed along protagonist who has absolutely no idea what's happening. He only ever wanted to live the life any ordinary person should have, but so much of it was simply out of his hands. In the early arc he's pushed around by his master Danyang Zi. In the middle arc there's head Tile's machinations, Zhuge Yuan's schemes, even his own daughter had her own agenda. And Li Huowang himself, the eye of the storm, just keeps charging forward like a big fool, completely brainlessly. And it's precisely these experiences that cause Li Huowang's personality to grow increasingly volatile. By the late arc, even a random dog on the side of the road would get a couple of kicks from Li Huowang. Of course, even by the ending, Li Huowang never accomplishes his original goal. He not only fails to live a normal life, he keeps lowering the bar, again and again. Until finally, even having just a ghost around feels like enough to satisfy him. Alright, I'm Aki, see you next time.